Okay, you'll be pleased to know we're not adding any new code as such to our understanding. All we're going to do is stick to the same program we looked at last time even. You'll also notice that I'm looking a little bit higher up at the new options. These are the options available in the Mac for idle. You'll find exactly the same kind of options within the Windows version and the Linux version. That's the nice thing about Python. It looks the same in all languages. Now, we've been working in immediate mode, and we said at the very beginning that means that when I press enter, the computer processes the work immediately. We're now going to try what's called normal mode. I'm going to go to File, New File. And what I've got is this blank text file here. Now I'm going to reduce the size of this a little bit so you can see this and the immediate window behind. I'm also going to reduce the size of the immediate window just so that you can see both within your window. Immediate window is this one. If I wrote a command in here, it would execute. Let's just prove that. Print, open brackets. There's our hello world from the very first. By the way, hello world is the first line of code any programmer has written. So if you've successfully written it, you're a programmer. And there it is, executed. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write exactly the same command. I'm going to press enter now, and absolutely nothing happens. And the reason why absolutely nothing happens is because this is not the same. This is not running in immediate mode. This allows me to write my lines of code, build them up, and then execute them in one go, run them in one go. Let's see how that works. I'm going to go back to the program we had last time. I'm going to look at the height and I'm going to set my variables up. Height is equal to 0, width is equal to 0, perimeter is equal to 0. Now I'm going to build a little bit of a gap. This area here is called my initialization. I'm setting up my initial values, my first values. I'm creating my variables so I know what those variables are. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assign to height the value. But we already know I need to have the integer value. So I'm going to put that with speech marks. Please enter the height of the rectangle. Notice with the input I do need to put the space to have a space between that and the next line. Now, I've gone down there. That's gone to this line here. Now if I get that, I know something's gone wrong because it's trying to run this next command. What it is I missed off that second bracket. If you remember in the past video, I actually said there doesn't need to be two, but there needs to be two brackets. But press enter now, it goes right back to the beginning. So if your cursor stops, don't think nothing's wrong or that's fine. Look for the error. There are lots of times when the computer will try to tell you there's something wrong. Now again, colon space, speech marks, close brackets, close brackets. That's the input. It's taking the input from the user and storing them in the variables. Now I'm going to carry on what's called the process. That is, I'm going to do the calculation we saw before. That's the calculation. That's the process. That means it's taken my input and it's converted it into something else. It's storing it in the perimeter. And the last thing, oh, by the way, these spaces doesn't bother the computer at all. When we're running, it doesn't matter at all. It will be ignored by the computer. So I will get onto that and continue the next part. The last part here is to print. So I'm going to print out the statement, your rectangle has a perimeter of perimeter. Your rectangle has a perimeter of, and then there's the perimeter. This is the same code we saw before, but each time I press enter, nothing has happened. The spaces that say are for me to see the code neatly, not for anything else. The computer will ignore them. I'm now going to go up to the word run and run module. Now the computer's going to say, oh, hold on, you haven't saved your work, just like in a word processor or a spreadsheet. And I'm going to click on OK to save. It's then going to ask me where I want to save it. Now I'm going to save it in my documents area, and I'm going to call this rectangle perimeter. And I'm going to click save. Your save window might look different. Notice by the way that this is a Mac if you're running this on Windows, but the idea is the same. Look in the active window now. It started the program. There's the name of the program I've just created. Please enter the height of the rectangle, 9. Please enter the width of the, and I can't spell rectangle, but doesn't matter, 5. Your rectangle has a perimeter. So the same code, but I've got no lines of code between. I've got a little program that runs to itself. I've noticed my mistake. I spelled rectangle wrong. That's fine. I'll go to the code, change the only thing that's wrong. I don't now have to rewrite the whole line. Go back up to run module, OK to save, yes, and now we'll just save it because I've already saved it once. There's the line of code. There it is running, 9, 5, and shows me that. So I can now write code here and watch it run up here. There's my code, and there's the result of the code running. And I've got a file that I can save and close and open again later. And we'll have a look at that file next time.